When I walk outside in the springtime, it is always a joy to see wild edibles popping up and growing all around. To see what is provided on this garden planet with no effort from humans at all is truly a humbling experience. However, these wild plants are often labeled as pesky weeds that need to be eradicated from the landscape, when truthfully, these so-called pesky weeds can be quite useful to us. When I look around, I am in awe, because I don't see pesky weeds. I see nutrient-dense foods that are often packed with a higher nutrient content than store-bought vegetables and produce. I see herbal remedies that we can make ourselves, a healthful herbal infusion, and sometimes a new, exciting discovery. I see nectar sources for our precious pollinators, and added beauty to the landscape. And sometimes these plants can even be indicators of soil health and other soil conditions. These wild edible plants are so much more than just an annoyance preventing lawns from being well manicured. They are a part of the Earth's true essence, an essence that is beautiful, bountiful, and resilient. Perhaps instead of waging war on many of these plants, we can begin to have a respect for them and how useful they can be. And of course, some of these plants are highly invasive and do have an impact on our local ecosystems. So hey, that's all the more reason to eat them and stop their spread, right? So let's get into it now. We made a delicious salad and we are going to talk about everything we put into it, starting with dandelion. Dandelion is one of the more well-known edible plants and probably one of the most recognizable weeds to spot. It's a very versatile plant because all parts of it are edible. The leaves can be eaten raw or cooked, and the same goes for the flowers. The flowers can be made into fritters, jelly, and wine, and the roots can be roasted and made into a coffee substitute. Number 2 is chickweed, and the edible parts of this plant are the leaves, stems, flowers, and seeds. You can also eat this plant raw or cooked, and I think one of my favorite things that I've seen people do with it is adding it into a wild greens pesto. Number 3 is wood sorrel. The species of wood sorrel displayed in this video is yellow wood sorrel. Wood sorrel has a very lemony taste, and the edible parts are the leaves, stems, flowers, and the immature seed pods. Something to note with wood sorrel is that it has a high content of oxalic acid, so because of this, it should only be consumed in small amounts. Next is clover. We have 2 types of clover growing near us, which are the white clover and red clover. All above ground parts of this plant are edible, so that's the leaves, stems, flowers, and seeds. Next is garlic mustard, and garlic mustard is one of those super invasive plants that just seems to really take over an area. I've seen it taking over areas, especially in forests, which isn't very beneficial to the ecosystem of the forest. But with garlic mustard, the edible parts of this plant are all above ground parts and the roots as well. So yeah, if you see garlic mustard, rip it up and eat it because you're helping your local ecosystem. The next 3 plants we actually covered in previous videos, so if you'd like, go check them out. We go into a little bit more detail about each plant. So they are wild violet, with the edible parts of this plant being the leaves and the beautiful flowers, and then purple dead nettle and henbit. With both of those plants, all of the above ground parts of the plants are edible. So with all of these edible plants, we ended up making a salad, which actually turned out being really delicious. We used the leaves and flowers of all these plants, with the exception of clover because at the time it wasn't in bloom, but we did use the leaves of both the white and red clover. We simply put olive oil and a balsamic glaze on as the dressing, and I have to say that my favorite part of the salad was the garlic mustard because it went so well with the balsamic. Well, that wraps it up for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and please leave a comment in the comment section below letting us know what your favorite wild edibles are, and if you have a favorite recipe or a favorite thing to make out of them. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.